Welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast, your go-to source for everything on the Las Vegas Raiders. Whether you're a diehard motherfucker like me, or just getting to know Raider Nation, our passionate hosts are here to bring you all the excitement on Raiders football. I'm Shit Show Joe, and welcome to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. Let's go, Raiders! If not, fuck your team!
And welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Raider Will, and I am here with part of my crew. I got my boy all in from TBH Dallas. How are you today, my brother?
We're good,
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, we're good, brother. We're good. Yo, in today's episode, guys, we're going to go, Raiders news and notes. 2, we're going to go over the Gruden debate. 3, we're going to go over the depth chart. And last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about preseason football, baby. So, y'all stay locked in, stay strapped in, and let's get ready to ride, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, we got transactions. Hey, as all y'all know, Michael Gallup is now retired. Hey, all in, what do you think about that, man? It's kind of weird. He came in from Dallas. We know that he came off with those ACLs, but he comes in, he does OTAs, and then camp happens, and he decides to retire. I know we have some depth at that wide receiver spot, but it's kind of odd that you retire at this time of the season.
Yeah, man. You roll through a few practices and just decide, it ain't it for you no more. Vontae Davis at halftime a few years back. I didn't really see him being a big producer. The depth's nice. He's not the player he was. Best of luck to him and what he's got after football. But maybe he was not going to make the 53.
No,
saw that and figured his time's up.
No, absolutely, man. Another big name that we have going on the PUP list is JPJ, man. I've heard that he had the sunglasses taken off, which I don't know what the injury is. I've heard that it might be a groin issue. I've heard that it's a concussion. Have you heard anything on that front?
I haven't, man. Just that, I don't even think he's been a part of training camp. I think he's been on the PUP list from the gate, from just before. I don't know what the specific injury is, just that I've heard that he'll be back, ready to go week 1. Will he? We're a month out? Yeah, a month from tomorrow, week 1.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's going to be an interesting thing. We see him on the depth chart. He's number 2 on the depth chart.
Yep.
So he's still on there. Lots of things happening, guys. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys stay locked in.
Good thing we signed Whitehair.
Yeah. But that's another guy that's struggling, if you guys have heard any of the reports coming out of camp. So, again, hey, we got fixes, we got things. We got Jake Johanning that went into the PUP list. We got wide receiver Jalen Guyton and left tackle Colton Miller, along with Darian Butler. And we've signed several wide receivers, Terrell Bynum. We've signed Dax Milne. And let's see here. Jalen Guyton passed the physical and returned to practice.
Nice.
From the PUP list. So, man, we got several receivers. Lots of action going on in the transaction world. Hey, now, baby, let's move into the Gruden debate. All in, we've talked about it in the green room.
Yeah.
Gruden was out at KC's practice.
Yeah, he was.
There, with his boy Andy Reid doing his thing. A lot of Raider Nation right now is pissed off and saying, why is he there? Why is he doing that? I think both you and I are on the same boat that we said, hey, man, it's a business. This guy is allowed to go wherever he wants to. We are not paying him as a coach, and he can go coach whoever he wants. And if that's his buddy, you can kind of go hang out with him. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, 100% like we talked, It's no different than if you and I were job hunting, right? And we had a friend in the business and we happened to show up. He decked out in Chiefs gear. Was he helping at practice? Who knows? at the end of the day, who cares? He did the same thing with New Orleans last season. You know, he showed up. He was helping the offense, working with those guys. At the end of the day, this dude's trying to get back into the league. You know, that's where he's at. He's trying to get another job, whether it's as an offensive coach, a head coach, or whatever it be. You know, maybe they'll hire him to be in charge of drafting, and he can fucking take down KC. But you nailed it too, right? He's also boys with Andy Reid. They go way back to Green Bay days before John was a Raiders coach and before Andy was an Eagles coach. You know, back in the '90s, man, they were tight. So, and I believe he was in Philly for a minute with Andy Reid.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
I think he was in Green Bay with him.
he was. That's where he was in Green Bay, and then Andy went to Philly, and I don't know if John followed or where John went from there. But at the end of the day, there's only 32 of these organizations, right?
No, absolutely,
So,
man. And that's where I'm like, I get what people are saying, you know, you can, but he's not giving up any Raiders secrets. I'll be like, bro, he hasn't coached the Raiders in how long now?
2.5 years, man. Like,
Like,
and it's a new regime. The only person he knows is Mark Davis, and I think the only player that's left that he drafted is Max.
again, I mean, like, unless he's over there telling them, like, yo, Max Crosby is a beast. How are you going to block him? Like,
Right.
dude, there's no secrets out there that he can give up, man. And I look at it like this. Okay. I coach. If one of my buddies is coaching on another team and I'm not coaching in that league or coaching an opponent, I have every right to go over there and help him out and just be like, yo, man, like, this is what's going on. This is what I see. What do you see?
Yeah.
I mean, like, isn't it a common thing that even, like, you know, that you go to your job, hey, you might have a buddy that works at a competitor, but hey, if he goes like, hey, man, can you help me out with this? Can you check this out? Are you going to be like, hey, bro, I can't go over there? Like, we ain't friends like that.
Nope.
You know,
Now, I'm in the automotive industry, so I got several shops and buddies that we work, hand to hand with. We're not all the smartest technicians in the world. Sometimes you got to call somebody and get an outside look. Maybe they got some things going on. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. You're right, man. And that's where, like, hey, we all just got to be realistic. And as fans, know that these guys, this is their job.
Yeah.
This is not like, I'm going to, because I'm a Raiders fan, only going to go work for the Raiders.
Right.
No, bro. Like, you are trying to feed your family. You're trying to do what's best for you. And like
100%.
you said, he's trying to find a way back in.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said earlier, he wants back in the league bad. And
Go ahead.
I mean, I lost my thought there, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a bigger story because we don't have any other stories to talk about.
Well, the bigger, like, I think it's like this, right? It went a big story because, our boy Josh the GOAT, 209, as we've already had Kermit Mahomes on the show and stuff. He brought up Kermit, throws Kermit at practice.
Yeah.
And, you got Trey Taylor, saying, I'm a what. And it blew up, right?
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
They're saying that the reason that Gruden showed up to practice for the Chiefs was to get back at the Raiders. Which for me, I'm like, you have a coach from 2.5 years ago show up. That's not really getting back to us. That's not really hurting us. I'm like, and honestly, the Patrick Mahomes stunt was just funny as shit.
It was hilarious. And fuck, Josh didn't take Kermit Mahomes there with the intent of players getting a hold of him. It just happened to plan out that way.
Exactly, man. And I mean,
what's funny too is a lot of these like fans, you'll see talking shit. Most of these fans fucking were like 6 when Gruden had his first era with so all they know is these last few years that Gruden was with them. They're like, oh, that once a Raider, always a Raider. That's bullshit. Well, Marcus Allen signed with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yo, this is yeah, you hit the nail on the head, man.
I mean, come
This
on,
is
man.
a
Again,
business,
there's
bro.
32 of these deals out there, and that is it.
Exactly. And I mean, like, if they're gonna pay you that type of money, I don't care who you are. If you're saying that you wouldn't go play for another team right now for freaking $15 million a year. I want you
You're
guys
full of
to
shit.
like put the comment below. That's me, because I
Yeah.
know that you're full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's the truth,
100%.
man. But yeah, like I said, man, Gruden, I think for us here at the Silver and Black Radio podcast, you can do whatever you want, man. Go ahead, shoot. Go ahead, do your thing in KC. Go to the Saints as long as it doesn't mess with us, and as long as you ain't drafting for us,
Yeah.
we
Good
good,
thing.
brother.
Hey,
Yes,
go ahead and
sir.
draft for old Andy.
Hey, yeah, exactly. Help
Hey,
him
and
out.
shit, maybe he'll be taking over for Andy. I don't give a fuck because we're going to beat your ass when we come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, now that we're off the Gruden situation, let's get into some Raider
Let's
real
go.
news, baby. We got the first unofficial depth chart. Lo, let's break it down position by position and tell me what you think. All right. Hey, the most debated position right now on the Raiders roster, okay, is quarterback. At QB1, you have Aiden O'Connell or
Yep.
Gardner Minshew. Okay. At QB3, you have Anthony Brown. And at QB4, you have Carter Bradley. Okay. Now, in my opinion, and I think in most of Raider Nation's opinion, the quarterback position is definitely the weakest on the roster for us and the one that's most questionable. Man, it's hard because we said, hey, man, we had high expectations and high hopes, especially this year with the draft and everything like that. But the way everything panned out, we obviously cannot get a quarterback. But if you guys have been listening and looking at everything, the quarterbacks are struggling in OTAs and in minicamp. We got Vic Tafur, okay? And I'm going to bring these up. You guys will see these come up here on the list. The first message you get out here, okay? Crosby and Coons sacked Minshew, who didn't love Max stripping the ball after the play. Then Minshew hits White for a big gain on a screen. Tayshawn Reed on that same day's practice. Jones made a leaping pick of Gardner Minshew in 11-on-11 drills. The Raiders' top DB is hooping. Okay? Then you got, here we go. Hold on. O'Connell overthrows Bowers across the middle. Morrig with the interception.
He's been killing it.
Yeah. So you have, let's see here. Tayshawn Reed comes out and says, hey, the QBs have been bad even when 17 is out there. He got asked a question. Minshew hasn't been doing that well today. Plain out says no. So, if you guys have listened to Uncle Hondo, listened to all these reports that are coming out, guys, we know that we're struggling at the quarterback position. We know that, hey, we're going against one of the top defenses, and it's definitely going to be a work in process. We have an offense coming in. What are your expectations for the quarterback room, at least for this upcoming game, all in?
The biggest one, man, protect the football is number one. Got to protect it. Secondly, man, we got to move the ball and score points, right? We were statistically in the bottom 5 of every offensive category last season. We're a bad offense. We got to be improvement. If this defense comes out and it's everything everybody thinks and hopes it's going to be, right? it's great practice for the offense, but damn, is the offense that bad? Because we're going to play some good defenses this year.
I agree. And honestly, man, what I see this year, I'm going to tell you, like, we're going to struggle. We're going to work. I think offensively we have a lot of flaws that we still have to fix. And the quarterback position, this is what I see. I see a season where we have a Trent Dilfer-esque offense. Okay, I mean, like, if you think about the 2000 Ravens with the monster defense, and you run the ball with Jamal Lewis, and you throw the ball every once in a while with Trent Dilfer, and just try to make sure you don't turn over the football in a bad
Yeah.
spot, and let your defense do it. That's what I see. And I mean, like, what I'll tell you like this. For game one, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. Whoever doesn't turn over the ball, stays consistent, is able to produce a little bit here and there, and just not put the defense in a bad position and put us in positions to win the game, will be the guy that starts. I mean, like, I really see Antonio Pierce trying to form this team after his Giants. His
Yeah.
Giant team, they didn't have the best quarterback. Hey, don't get me wrong, Eli Manning, bro, the guy is a Super Bowl champ 2 times, and I mean, like, his brother is a beast.
I'm going to throw it out
But,
there. Eli, because he's up for it, he was not a Hall of Famer.
well, there you go. I
In
mean,
my
like,
opinion.
and I mean, like, is he borderline, and is he close?
Yeah.
He's pretty fucking close. So, I mean, like, again, that's where I see Antonio Pierce in the quarterback room going for this week, man. It's exactly what you said, man. All I want to see is a guy that doesn't turn over the ball, doesn't make mistakes, and a guy that stays efficient on offense and keeps the O going. All right, man. So
Got to.
now we got, here we go, left tackle. Left tackle, we're going to have Colton Miller, Andreas Pete, and Jalen McKenzie. Right? I'd be like, dude, we got a perennial all-star Pro Bowler,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
left tackle. Colton Miller is going to start unless something happens, and I definitely expect Austin Pay to come in and fill in if he gets injured. And I'd be like, also from what I've heard, don't be amazed if you won't see Thayer Munford swinging from right tackle to left tackle if things go down to that. I don't expect us to carry a third left tackle. Jalen McKenzie, I definitely expect him to either be put on the cut or be put on the reserve team.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'd agree with that. Unless Colton gets hurt, he'll play every down.
Yep. All right, now left guard, man. We got Cody Whitehair, who we brought over from the Bears. Then we have JPJ, who's on the PUP list, and Corey Luciano. Again, for right now, I expect Cody Whitehair to start. He has the veteran presence. He's been doing it for a while. JPJ is on the PUP list. He's injured. We're going to see how he grooves, how he comes along. And honestly, I think Corey Luciano was picked up due to the fact that JPJ is injured.
Mm-hmm.
He got picked up for depth, and he's just been there to be like, hey, you know what? There's a guy that we have extra on the roster that we have injured, so let's put you in. Are you in the same boat here, brother?
Yeah, same boat there. I think JPJ eventually becomes the starter. If he doesn't have a camp, I think he works in. I think Cody will be the starter until he gets into game shape. Because look at last year, Tyree didn't have a camp and he didn't have a great rookie season. I think with bringing in a veteran like Whitehair, there's no need to rush JPJ back. Bring him along progressively.
I 100% agree with you. I see JPJ as a kid that's going to be starting eventually. He's definitely going to be a guy that's going to take over that position, but there's no reason to bring him back early.
Yep.
Let him get healthy and let him come back. I know that this season is going to be definitely not as productive as we wanted it to be, because you're absolutely right. Not having a OTAs, not having mini camp, all that does affect you. It does make you a
100%.
little bit slower, man. I mean, like we saw with Josh Jacobs last year. You know, that
Tyree
situation.
Wilson.
Yeah, Tyree Wilson, things like that. So I would 100% agree with you on that, my brother. Now we got Andre James, Ben Brown, and Will Putnam all at center. Hey, man, Andre James is definitely a lock for us.
Yep.
I don't see another starter, you know, and if we're going for depth, I have an inclination that we'd probably go with Ben Brown. Right now, he's
Yeah.
listed as number 2.
Yeah, but I also remember Parham filled in and played nicely at center. And if you got Whitehair and a healthy JPJ, you know, that might be a rotation that you can move Parham and maybe Whitehair to right and put JPJ at left.
You can definitely do that. I mean, like if you look at the roster with Parham at center, you can put JPJ at right or left, and you can put Cody Whitehair at right or left, depending on where they're
Yeah.
comfortable at. You
Yep.
know, and if you look at,
In my opinion, I thought Parham looked pretty good at center last year.
no, I agree. So I mean, like he could definitely be the backup center, starting
Yeah.
right guard, and then you have Jordan Meredith backing him up. So that's going to give us depth at that right guard spot.
How many roster spots? I didn't look. How many roster spots are typically held for the O line? I mean, obviously you got your starting 5.
That I don't know. That all depends on the team.
Yeah.
So you can have, because remember, it's a 53-man roster.
Right.
So as long as you have a minimum for certain positions, like we went 12 personnel, so there's no fullback.
Yep.
So all that is just as long as you stay within your 53-man, and I think you have a minimum of certain players
Right.
that you can have, you know. So that's where it gets interesting. But we have Jordan Meredith for depth, and we have Clark Barrington. And I think Jordan Meredith is definitely the front runner for that, you know, number 2 spot. The guy has been there for a while, and he's definitely been a security blanket for the Raiders in these past couple seasons.
Yeah.
So now we are on to right tackle. Here is where there's a lot of questions, man. I don't know if you've been hearing a lot of it, but Thayer Munford started, right? Now, Thayer Munford has also been dealing with an injury to his hand. So you
I
see
didn't know that.
Yep, he has an injury to his hand. And DJ Glaze went in there and has basically taken over and made a name for himself in practice, basically running with the ones.
Yeah,
Okay?
I've seen that he's run with the ones.
Yep.
Saw a couple things where they said he's actually, you know, I mean, he's obviously getting beat still, but holding his own against Max for a rookie. For a guy, too, that they also said was a development piece.
Yep, exactly. So a guy that comes in here, this is where it gets exciting. I mean, I'm concerned with JPJ because your first 3 picks, you're supposed to start.
Yeah. Yep.
And your second pick, your second round draft pick, who's a highly touted guy, being not at practice is like, what the fuck?
Yep.
You know. So now that we got this 3rd round pick that's coming along, it makes me excited to see what JPJ can do along with this guy, because our offensive line is young and they are challenging that. Dylan Parham from last year. You know, Thayer Munford, last year he was a rookie. These guys are all young, and these guys are all big dogs up front. So I can't wait to hear who ends up winning this right tackle spot. I think this game, the person that is going to show for this right tackle spot is going to be the player that keeps the best protection. The player that actually stays locked into their blocks and they show good feet and hands. That's who's going to win that right tackle spot, in my opinion.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I still think Munford wins it.
I think Munford will win it out, and I think
Glaze will push him.
Yeah. And if you're not, you know, like handling your business, he'll be a quick switch.
Yep. Yeah, you got. I mean, it's a deal where you gotta be on your toes, man, because there's a rookie fucking itching.
Absolutely.
Who sounds
And
like
then,
he's a little further along than they thought he was going to be.
exactly. And I mean, like, he's long, man. He's
Yeah.
super long.
Yep.
So another big guy that they got, which I expect him to actually make the roster, is Dalton Wagner. You know, that guy is 6'8", a freaking monster. And Andre Coker, you know, I don't expect him to make the roster. I do expect him to come onto that practice team. Now, true to 12 personnel, we actually put out a list with 12 personnel as starters. So both tight ends will be starting tight end, Michael Mayer. Starting tight end, Brock Bowers. Number 2 for Michael Mayer will be Harrison Bryant. Number 2 for Brock Bowers will be Zach Gentry. Number 3 is Shanker and Cole Ferdinand. Dude,
Yeah, you can X those two off. They'll be practice squad guys.
I don't know. I like Ferdinand. I like what they do. I really think that these guys can push the twos. They can push Zach Gentry and Bryant and maybe make the roster. Now, the first two I know are a lot, man. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, you don't draft these guys that high and not have them on. It is a lot. But I think we're going to get some good action, especially in the preseason, to see who will win those second spots at tight end. Because they're going to get a lot of reps. They're going to get a lot of looks, man. And I mean, like, if you really think about it, they're going to get a ton of balls going their way, especially with the way that practice is going right now.
Well, yeah, tight ends have been the only bright spot on the offense.
Exactly. All right, man. So here are the starting wide receivers. We have Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers. Then backing them up will be Christian Wilkerson, Keelan Doss, Trey Tucker. Then we have Jeff Foram and DJ Turner, Tulu Griffin, Terrell Bynum, Alex Baum, Jalen Guyton, Ramel Kighton, and Tyreek McAllister. So we got a ton of wide receivers.
Welcome back, Keelan Doss.
Yeah, man. Talk about a guy that came back like, hey, from back in the day, baby. Hey,
I always had high hopes for that kid, man. Like,
me too. I was upset when he got released, man. I was like, man, why'd we let that guy go?
Yeah, me too.
But you know what? It's just like you said, brother. Guys, right now, the wide receiver room is wide open.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's absolutely nuts. For being absolutely talented, Jacoby Myers is the only one that they say is catching the ball consistently. DT's having his drops. Tucker's having drops.
Well, Tay's not even at practice. He hasn't been there since Thursday or Friday.
No. Yeah, so he's been, like, he went because he's been on leave with his wife, but even before that, they said that he was having issues. Even at some practices that their separation between the corners were just making him drop the ball, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so it's just
ball
really
placement and just, you know, there's a lot of things contributing. I'm disappointed because Tay is gone, man. I was really hoping we were going to hear like some names and guys step up. Trey Tucker is not having a good camp at all, which is disappointing.
He went from not dropping the ball to dropping everything.
Yeah, they said even during OTAs and minicamp in May and June or whatever it was, you know, his routes were looking crisper. He was catching everything, and he just shit the bed when he got here.
No, I agree with you. And this is where it's disappointing because this would be our strength.
Yeah,
100%. It should be like, where guys come in and you're trying to compete and make everything look good. Dropping the ball, like not running crisp routes, not doing the right thing. That's where it's just disappointing, but you're right. I definitely have heard, though, that DJ Turner has turned some heads. You've seen some guys, Christian Wilkerson is also turning some heads, making some plays. You know, that was a guy that we released last year. He's a bigger receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, I definitely expect a lot of these wide receivers to get a lot of play this first game, man. Especially if they're dropping balls. And I'll be like, we're going to see who's going to make this team and who doesn't by who catches the football when it's time
to step up. You got to step up.
Exactly. Yo, so now we got running backs, man. We got Zamir White. We got Alexander Madison. We got Amir Abdullah and Britton Brown. And then after that, we got Dylan Lobbit and Sincere McCormick. We know that Zamir White's going to start. We
Yep.
know that, hey, Alexander Madison will be number 2.
Yep.
My question for you is who's going to be number 3? Are we going to get Amir Abdullah or Dylan Lobbit? Because I don't think Sincere McCormick, I think he's going to do the same thing where we cut him and we put him on the practice squad. I just don't see him like shining. And I really don't see Britton Brown turning it up.
It's a 2-man race. They love Dylan, man. The AP loves Dylan. Dude, is it crazy to think they keep all 4?
No, I think they keep all 4, especially because Dylan Lobbit can be a special teams guy.
So can Abdullah too, though.
Yeah, and I mean, like with that, you can keep 4. I'd be like, you just keep 1 as a returner on the roster.
Yeah, yeah. And I think if you do that, Abdullah and Dylan, man, they split them third back carries, third back downs.
Each guy gives you a little bit of something different.
Yeah.
You know? So I'll be like, I can see that, and I can really see Dylan Lobbit making an impact for our team, man. I mean, like, this kid
I think so.
has been opening eyes and impressing people. So watch out, Raider Nation. I mean, like, yo, we might be sleeping on a guy that is going to make some big things happen for us, especially in the special teams game, man. That's where I really see that happening. All right, man. Hey, we just went over the O. Let's go over the D. All right. Oh, shoot, bro. Defensive end. You already know who's starting.
Mm-hmm.
Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz. Backing them up, you got Janarius Robinson. You got Tyree Wilson. And Charles Snowden and Ellerson Smith.
Marquand McCall. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Smith.
Then you have TJ Franklin and David Agoha. So, man, all right. So the guys that ain't going to make this list, we already know, are Charles Snowden, Ellerson Smith. Let's see here. TJ Franklin. David Agoha will be our international player. That's where I see him on the roster because that's where he was last year. Okay. And, the guys that will probably be the top 4 in that rotation are going to be Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson, Janarius Robinson, and Malcolm Kuntz. And I'm going to tell you right now, that defensive end room is fucking loaded.
Fucking lunch. It's going to be a long day.
Yup. A long day, man. I mean, like with those just 3-4 monster rotation, you're going to be busy. Janarius Robinson is a dude.
Yep.
We saw a lot of bright spots last year.
There might be a time when you see Max, Malcolm, Wilkins, and Tyree all in at once.
NASCAR package. NASCAR, bro. NASCAR. That's going to be disgusting. Bad. All right. On the interior line, we got John Jenkins and Christian Wilkins. Then we have Byron Young, Adam Butler. We have Matthew Butler, Marquand McCall. Then we have Nesta Jade Silvera, Tamari Fox, who just got put on the injured reserve list, Noah Shannon, and Ron Stone. All right, man. Hey, we know that Big Daddy, John Jenkins, is going to be there. And, we got Matty B jumping on here.
What's up, man?
Hey. What's up, man?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
All right, so he jumps right back off. All right. Hey, so we got, like I said, John Jenkins, Christian Wilkins are definitely a lot. Byron Young, okay, and Adam Butler have been making big-time moves just
Yep.
preseason from what I've heard. Okay, so watch them be heavily rotated in this season to make big time plays.
Yeah, I don't know that we keep too many outside of those four. Because you got
I'm gonna
Tyree
ask you
that's
this.
going to rotate.
Well, I think we're gonna keep one. So
Just one?
I think we'll keep one, maybe two, but I'm thinking we're gonna keep Nestor Jade Silvera.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yep.
I don't see us keeping Marquand McCall.
Mm-mm.
We already put Shannon Falk, or I don't think we're going to keep Noah Shannon. Tamari Falk is already on the pup list. And Matthew Butler, that might be another guy we keep. But really, I see Nestor Jade Silvera being that guy, bro. We're going to keep just one more.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I hope Byron Young steps up and has a big monster season as a second-year guy.
I'm hoping too. I mean, like, I've heard that now that, that front war, like, those front war daddies are just, bro, we got animals up front. And
Nasty.
in that leadership room, there is people pushing for greatness. So all those guys now are just hungry, man. They're active.
Yep.
They're just getting nasty. So I'm excited to see. Now, let's move on to linebackers, bro. We got Divine Diablo. We got Robert Spillane starting at the Mike and the Buck. But the backup Buck is going to be Luke Masterson. You got Tommy Eichenberg as the backup Mike. You got Kanai Magua as the third string, Amari Burnley as the third string, and then Amari Gaynor as the fourth string. Bro, I don't know how many linebackers we can carry. But this defensive line group being so heavy, I expect us to not carry that many. So Divine Diablo, definitely a lock. Luke Masterson, definitely a lock. We'll carry Spillane. And I'm really excited, man, to see what Tommy Eichenberg can do at that Mike spot.
I am pumped about that kid.
Yep. And I'll be
He
like
is going to bring it.
with him. Yep. And I'll be like, he's definitely something special, man. So we're definitely excited to see what Eichenberg can bring to that and see where he's at. Now, I don't think we're going to keep more than that. I think and I'll tell you this, Amari Burnley, I'm pretty disappointed in Burnley, man. He is definitely a player that we drafted last year that we saw a lot of potential in. But I just don't see him making the roster. And I don't see him making any moves to stay on this roster. So, again,
you got two. The number twos are going to be tough to beat out. Masterson played really well. You're not going to ditch Eichenberg. There's been a lot of hype on him. There's been a lot of talk about how good Diablo has looked so far.
Yeah. And I mean, like, again,
Robert Spillane is the anchor of that room.
But he ain't going nowhere. And they're running
absolutely.
a 4-2-5. I mean, like, if you really think about it, we're only running two true linebackers in the group. So we have limited guys that are going to be able to do and carry that spot. So, I mean, like, now with the added nickel, because that's how our defense is listed with the nickel, is like, yo, how many guys can you carry?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm like, I think Kanai Magua or Maui.
Yeah.
I can't even pronounce it.
I think he'd be the. Yep, agreed. I would agree.
Yep. All right, man. Now let's get into the corners, all right? Like we said, we have a starting nickel, Nate Hobbs. We have our starting one, which is Jack Jones and Ja'Cory Bennett.
Jack Jones.
Who? Jack Jones. Let's go. Yo. So, now we got Ja'Cory Bennett starting at 2. Okay. The backup nickel is MJ Devonshire, who is a 7th-round draft pick. The backup number 2 is DeCamion Richardson, which is a 4th-round draft pick. And the backup to the number 1 is a guy that just can't seem to stay healthy, and Brandon Faison, man. That dude cannot stay healthy if his life depended on it.
Is he not healthy right now?
He's not healthy, man. Something happened.
Okay, I didn't hear that. I just heard he's not having a good camp.
good camp and not healthy. And then you're like,
You
I don't
know,
know. But we'll see. We'll see, man. But, but then we also got Wu Governor, Sam Webb, Cornell Armstrong, Rashid Williams, and Jaquan Shepard. All guys that we really do not expect to make the team, to make that 53-man cut. But we
yeah.
are deep at that position. All right, man. Hey, what do you see? I'd be like Ja'Cory and Bennett starting at 2.
I called it when when we had our episode about guys who need to step up, right? I
Yep.
threw not only Bennett out there, but through the whole DB room. Bennett was off to a good start for a rookie last year until he got hurt. And from everything I've heard, is he's off to a good start this camp. Hobbs and Jones both raved about him. I fully expect him to be that number 2. But I heard Richardson's coming.
Hey,
He's pushing. Don't sleep on him.
that dude, I heard he is a dude.
Yep.
I mean, like, reports have been coming out that kid can ball.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see. I mean, like, I also think Ja'Cory and Bennett is going to be a really good player for us. I saw a lot of strides. And the thing that I like about this year, if you guys have heard his commentary, is that he thinks he's going to do good because his teammates believe he's going to do good. So that belief in him is making him feel like, yo, I can make it happen. Yeah. And when your teammates believe in you, that's a big thing.
Yep.
Can you hear us, Matty B?
What up?
Yeah, what's up, brother? Sorry, guys. I just got done with football practice, so
You're good, brother.
No problem, brother.
seen
That's
everybody
what
was on. I was like, I better jump on. I haven't been on in a minute.
We're just rolling through the depth chart, man.
Yeah. So
Heck
we're
yeah.
talking corners right now, man. Hey, so I'm going to ask you this. Ja'Cory and Bennett is listed as the number 2 corner right now. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No way. So Ja'Cory and Bennett is listed as the number 2 corner on our roster right now. What are your thoughts on Ja'Cory and Bennett, and what do you hope to see out of them this year?
Man, I think he's got a lot of potential riding off of last year. I know he was kind of thrown into the mix last year as a rookie. He had some flashes of being a good receiver, or a good corner last year.
Yeah.
That I think that he can build off of that, of course, this year. And I think he's got the right crew around him right now to help him out with that too. With the guys that he's got around him, I've heard a lot of people talking highly of him so far and saying that he's been a ball hawk this whole offseason. So, I mean, he can really only go up from where he was at last year, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And what I like about the kid, man, is last year, you're right. He had a lot of struggles. As a rookie, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have struggles playing that position. You're on an island. I'd be like, man, corner is the hardest position to play out there because you get exposed. And then yep.
Right.
And you know what, though? What I liked about the kid is that he is not scared to go in there and put his body on the line to make it happen. And that's something that a lot of corners lack. I mean, like, if you guys know anything about a cover corner, man, cover corners don't like to tackle. They don't like to come up there and get physical and turn guys in. And I see Ja'Cory and Bennett as a guy that's like, yo, I want to cover, and I'm in there to try to make the tackle. So that's what makes me excited about having him out there, man, because we got a physical corner that wants to be physical, and then you got Jack Jones. Who?
Jones.
Yeah, Jones.
Yes, sir. On the other side, locking people up, so you're definitely going to get that vibe, man, and you're going to get that swagger from either side, and he's going to get balls thrown to him where he can make big-time plays. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the most excited I've been about the safeties group in a while.
You ain't lying.
For the Raiders, man. We are flying around, communicating, leading this defense, making us make great plays right now in OTAs. All right, we got Marcus Epps, we got Trayvon Merrick, we got Isaiah Palumau, Now, a guy that has actually disappeared this season from OTAs and stuff like that is Chris. What's his name? Chris
Smith
Smith.
the second.
Yep. And Jadon Grant. We got Trey Taylor, of course, Mr. Kermit the Frog, and Phelan Sanford. Okay. So, guys, the name I keep hearing out of this group is the young man related to Mr. No Flakes himself, Troy Polamalu. That boy, hey man, Polamalu has been flying around, making plays all OTAs in camp. So you see here, Merrick is getting interceptions in camp. Marcus Epps is leading this defense in camp. And they are absolutely handling their business. Guys, this back duo of these two guys, or these three that we have, might be the best in the NFL. What are your guys' thoughts, man? Hey, I'm going to start with all in.
Oh, no doubt, man. I mean, I've been high on Polamayo for a while. I want to see that kid just take off. Finally, Morig is doing what he was doing in college, right? Now it's going to translate to the regular season. Obviously, this is camp. And I think Trey Taylor sneaks in there too. He'll be that fourth man.
I think so, too.
Chris Smith is probably Epps. We paid him last year, man. I'd like to see him have a big year too, and it sounds like he's headed there. So I think it's going to be those four, but those three, man, are going to be the dudes. Man, I hope Polamalu just takes off, dude. I really like that kid.
I do too as well, man. So, Matty B, what are your thoughts, my brother?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think this unit could be probably the best in the NFL if you were to look at it on paper. But I mean, I think I have to agree with Allen. I kind of like those four that he's got. I don't see Chris Smith being here, but I do. I see Trey Taylor. I've been hearing a lot of hype about him, and a lot of guys hyping him up. My only thing is with Trey Taylor, I want to see you back it up against the Chiefs. You know what I mean? You want it. Going out there pulling that, you got to back it up. You know what I mean? Like, especially against Mahomes. So if he makes that, that's what I want to see out of him. I want to see him ball out. But I do think Polamalu is the third guy in that group right there for sure. And then Trey Taylor sneaking in behind him at 4.
Yeah, I don't know how much time Taylor would get. I think he's really going to have to get leaps and bounds better between.
The only thing I see Taylor getting in there with is if somebody was to get hurt, like say Polamalu gets hurt and he's the fourth guy, and I think that's the only time you'll see him. And that'll be in like certain packages. It's not going to be a lot. So I don't think they're going to do the same thing like they did with Bennett last year. If you're looking at it from being thrown in there at a rookie and
no,
trying
we
to
got
have
too
that
much
starting position, we got too many people right there to. It'd be stupid to do that.
What I see is Polamalu 2.0 with Trey Taylor. You bring him along slowly, you groom him, you work with him. He has the lineage. Bro, right now we have lineage on our team of Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed.
Isaiah. Oh.
Ed Reed, bro, at safety. The two of the best safeties that have played in this past decade. So I'm sure that the Raiders have something up their sleeve with that trick, man, to put that type of experience and those types of guys back there with that lineage, man. I mean, like, bro, you can't teach certain things that they already know, you know? Because, like, hey, their uncle did it.
Hey,
or their cousin did it.
Another thing to look at, too, is, hey, we got four possibly 4 good safeties back there that, hey, we don't have to pay a safety a bunch of money. We could bring another one up and use them for trade bait too, if they're that good. You know what I mean? So
you're absolutely
that's a good thing
right,
about having depth too, is you can always bring somebody up and release somebody or trade somebody and use them as bait. So that's always a good thing to have depth like that.
Yep. And guys, we're gonna wrap up the roster here with the punter, Pro Bowler AJ motherfucking Cole.
Yeah.
And our kicker, Daniel the Mule Carlson. bed out there just stroking it. I mean, again, Raiders probably have the best special teams room on the freaking face of this planet right now, which has
All the
been a
time.
regular. Yeah, it's been a regular thing since I think the early
Since the
2000s.
90s.
Yeah,
All
since
right.
Gruden drafted
Janikowski.
Shane and
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, 2000. Sorry, not 90.
Shane and
Not 99.
Janikowski. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 2000.
All right, guys. Now we're going to get to the last part of the show. Finally, the preseason is here, baby. We got to go game 1 preseason. We got to go take on the Minnesota Vikings. I was about to say some other stuff, but got to keep it PG for the kids. And we got to go up there and just dominate, guys. What are you guys expecting to see? What are you guys hoping to see? And, give me some stuff that you guys are looking for in game 1 of the preseason. Yo, Matty B, let's start with you, bro.
Man, I want to look on defense has got to step up, be the best they've been. If they want to win games, defense got to step up and do what they're talking about in OTAs and just dominate everybody. Offense, we got the weapons there. Let's get the quarterback going. Let's get some wins this year. And I mean, that's what I'm really mostly looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the quarterback room this year. Like, that's my biggest
quarterback competition.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that. I want to see who takes control of this team and who leads this team, because I think they're both good quarterbacks. I'm not going to say they're both elite quarterbacks, but they're both good quarterbacks. And if we have a good enough offense, we'll have a decent quarterback, in my opinion. I don't think you have to have a Patrick Mahomes behind a line in order to win games. You just got to have someone smart that can control the ball. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most this season, is to see if our quarterbacks can grow from last year and if our defense can continue doing what they were doing last year. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, brother. Yo, all
just
in.
Win, baby.
Let's get it. All in. Game 1 versus the Vikings. What are you expecting to see out of our Raiders, baby?
First of all, I don't give a fuck about the win or loss right now, right? Because we've excelled the last 2 preseasons and then fucking shit the bed in the regular season. So I don't give 2 fucks about the win. Like I said earlier when we were talking about depth, the quarterback position, protect the fucking football, right? Move the ball, score, and look like somewhat of a functional offense. It's not going to take a lot for our offense to be better than it was last year, but you got to give the defense.
Dead last and everything.
Right. Yeah, we didn't score 20 points until we played the Patriots or whatever it was.
Until the Giants when we scored 30.
Yeah, I think that was the first time. So we can't wait till week 9 or 10 to put up 20 plus points, right? So I want to see the quarterback battle. I'm curious about this offensive line deal between Glaze and Munford. And then the DBs, man. I think defensively everything else is set. I want to see these DBs, and I want to see them get after it, because that was my one position I wanted to see, improve this year. That was going to have to step up.
Bro, it's like you read my mind. You jumped into my mind and just was like, yo, literally right now, the positions I want to see, because, guys, I'm a coach. I like to see the microcosms, right? I want to see the offensive line right now. Who's going to step up? Who's going to solidify certain positions? Who's going to step up as that number 2 guy? The quarterback room, we all know. We said it at the beginning of the show. Allin just said it. The guy that doesn't turn over the football is the guy that's going to win the job. The guy that puts the offense in the best position possible, he's going to win the job. I mean, the guy that turns it over, I don't care if you extend the play and you run for everything. If you throw 2 interceptions, AP's not going to want that.
No,
we're looking at it. Exactly. So we're looking at becoming at that 90s or like that early 2000s Ravens, like I said, with Trent Dilfer. You
Yeah,
know,
the Bucks with Brad Johnson. I mean,
yep, or being like the Giants with Eli Manning. Matt hit the nail on the head. We have to have a dominant defense. So I expect our defense to go out and be dominant. But the one spot that I am looking at is Jacorian Bennett. Will Jacorian Bennett be the guy that's able to hold that other position and make a play? And if not, who's the guy on the roster that we expect to fill in and make plays?
is the
And
guy on the roster.
yeah, I mean, like, so that's where it's like, hey, we'll see that, and we'll see that all in game one. I expect our defense to be dominant against Minnesota. That should be a given. I mean, we already have shown that we're a top 10 defense last year. We got to show the same thing this year and start from the preseason. And I guarantee you the ones are going to be flying around.
If they play, I don't expect Max and Christian to play.
I don't
I
expect
expect to
those guys
see
to play.
a ton of Tyree. We might see a little bit of Malcolm, maybe not. But let's see. Big Jenkins going to play. Let's see Byron Young step up this weekend.
I want to see that. What's his name? DeCamerion
Richardson.
Richardson. I want to see that dude play too. I heard that dude's a pretty good corner too.
Oh, bro.
So speaking on the top of your corners there, like
pushing.
Coming back to him, I think that could be the guy that steps up if Bennett doesn't, butt it out this year.
We both we went right over that corner when we were going on the roster for the corners. We agreed with you 100%. All said it. He's like, yo, Richardson is pushing, and I was actually shocked because MJ Devonshire, who was our 7th round draft pick at quarter, is actually
number 2 behind
and the nickel behind Nate Hawks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where he's listed. So I'll be like, all these rookies, man, that's what I want to see. I want to see all these young guys. We know what we're going to get with the old guys. We know what we're going to get. Really, the youth, man. That's what's making me so excited because, honestly, that's how the Raiders are going to make a difference this year. Just bringing in those youth guys and bringing them along and make them become big-time playmakers for our silver and black.
Well, that's the thing that's been hurting us the last, probably 20 years. I'd say 20 years is we don't have depth and we're never young. We're never a young team. We're always going after free agents and, trying to trade with somebody else and trying to do this and bring in all these big-name dudes and it never works out.
Well, so here's why we haven't had it is because we haven't drafted well.
But that's what I was just getting ready to say that same thing. Yeah. It all leads back to drafting, and drafting has been horrible. So, I mean, the guys we have now, I have a feeling Josh McDaniels when he was there, he got some good pieces. I'm not going to lie. He's got a couple good pieces out of his draft. I'm not going to say his whole draft was fabulous and he had a fantastic draft, but he had a couple good pieces that brought in and that are actually putting some work in. And this last draft was, I think, probably one of the best drafts we've had. A lot of people don't think so, but I think we got a lot of good pieces that are hidden gems out of that draft, man.
This is the best draft we've had in 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said all that said
for sure, by far.
So all I just said, hands down.
If I'm the DB coach, I tell these young guys, hey, give Telesco and AP. Don't give them a reason to go looking at Gilmore, right? Give them a reason to not go look at a veteran corner. Be that guy.
Yeah, save that money and we'll use it on something that we need when we find out that, hey, this is the spot that we really need to fill. Let's go out and get him.
Oh, I agree. And I'd be like, I'm telling you right now, if I'm AP, I'm telling the guys, yo, if you're looking to make this 53-man roster, I want you guys to make a case for yourself where I can't cut you.
Yep.
Where, hey, you got to show that you're irreplaceable to this team and that you're adding to this team. So I can definitely see that, man. But, yo, guys, hey, we are now to the end of the show. So, guys, please click like, subscribe, and share. Comment. Guys, hit us all up. We got my boy All In from TBH Dallas. We got my boy Matty B from TBH Wesco. You got myself, Raider Will from TBH Wesco. And it's all love. It's all family, baby. Hey, guys, also, we wanted to let you guys know that this weekend, TBH Dallas will be having their game down there.
No. The 17th. is our
Or
first
the
official
17th.
versus Dallas.
Okay,
Yes,
my bad.
that's our first official
TBH
watch
Dallas,
party. Yes, sir.
the 17th. They will be having their first official watch party down at Grapevine, Texas,
Chill
buddy.
grapevine.
Chill Grapevine. So make sure you guys hit them up. I'll make sure to put their stuff up right here. You guys will see it pop up above my head. Guys, do we got anything else?
We got the Badass Bosses Flag Football Tournament Labor Day weekend. If you're in the DFW area, you want to get on a team, you put a team together. We'll throw out the flyer too. Get at me. I'll get you the details. I'll get you over to the right people to get registered. It's going to be a good time. Good fundraising event, man.
Yes, sir. Also, August 17th, Northwest Blackout. We will have Seattle. We will have Spokane, Portland. Everybody in Seattle will have TBH Westco. We will have Reno, Lovelock. I think Sacramento will be up there. So, guys, make sure you guys look at all the flyers. Lock in, man. Become a part of Raider Nation and enjoy some fun stuff. Now, guys, do we got anything else?
I think you nailed it, brother.
Nope. All right, guys. So, as we always say, it's about one nation. It's about one team. It's all about the
Raiders.
Raiders!